What's up, guys? It's Lord Botha here with another video, and it is September 12th, 2024, and you need to mark this day as the day that Arrowhead Studios pushed the panic button on Helldivers 2. This comes to us from Games Radar, and it's entitled Helldivers 2 Dev Admits There's Been a Disconnect Between Arrowhead and What Players Want. We want to make the game more fun. A Helldivers 2 dev admits that there's been a disconnect between players and developers recently, but that making the game more fun is the studio's core focus. Really, because it seems like the core focus of Arrowhead this whole time was to piss players off by demanding that they create a PSN account to be able to access the game, continuously nerfing and buffing random things in the game to drive headaches for players and their favorite weapons, armors, and whether they're fighting bugs or bots or all that, which enemies are easier, harder, and etc., as well as constantly promising bigger and better content and continuously not delivering. But this Discord community manager, Thomas Twinbeard Peterson, spoke about the game's 60-day action plan. Yes, they're getting together a 60-day action plan to win back fans of the game. Peterson is quoted as saying, "The one thing that trumps all at the moment is that we want to make the game more fun for a larger percentage of the player base. That's number one. It has to be. Having fun with your friends is what the game is all about." Really, because it seems like microtransactions through skins and weapons, while continuing to tease players so that they stick around and spend more money in the game, just so you can use that money to prove to Daddy Sony that you created something worthwhile, seems to be what the number one priority has been about. He continues on in a quote saying, "We hope and think the initial changes will make the game more fun for a larger base of players, old and new." Which is an interesting quote that we're going to circle back to in just a second. But here's the meat of the 60-day plan, which I find most interesting. The 60-day plan has only just started, but Arrowhead is prepared to make some sweeping changes, including a rollback of some of the more controversial changes added to the recent Escalation of Freedom update. Those controversial changes, by the way, that they're talking about is the fact that they nerfed fire damage while also giving you a whole new pack of incendiary weapons. So it's like, hey, buy these new weapons. Oh, by the way, all the damage that the weapons do, we made it way weaker, so you're actually buying an inferior product. It angered players so much, actually, that that's what they called the boycott for, was they stopped fighting the bots because they felt like they were being swindled with these new sets of weapons that were inferior, and so they said, hey, to hell with it, we'll just let the bots take over Super Earth because now we don't have the proper weapons to defeat them. Now here's what I think is the most interesting quote. The studio's also committing to nerfs of both bugs and bots, meaning that no matter which front you fight on, you should have a slightly easier time. One of the best things about Helldivers is that it had a huge breadth of different difficulties. From one, which was painfully boring easy, to Helldiver, which was absolute painful chaos. And it was messy, and it was beautiful and hilarious. Fighting with your friends amongst the bots and bugs, completely unable to almost do any kind of progress. The idea that you had to get extremely good at the game to be able to function at the highest level, at that Helldiver level. The fun you would have taking your newbie friend into a match and making him dive straight into Helldiver just to laugh and mess with him and see him struggle. And now it seems those difficulties are being slide scaled down. And I don't even know how you do that with something like easy difficulty. And why are they doing this? Why are they nerfing the bugs and bots to make the game just more easier in general? Well, it goes back to that previous quote. We hope and think these initial changes will make the game more fun for a larger base of players, old and new. They're making the game easier to try to get normies, to try to get noobs, to try to get people who haven't played the game before to try it. They're trying to get people who played the game maybe once or twice and said, this is too hard or this isn't for me or whatever, to come back and try it again because now it's easier. Essentially, they're putting the training wheels on the bike, and all of this is being done for one simple reason. Player counts are down, boys. You can see this is the past 3 months here on Steam. The all-time peak less than a year ago, just 7 months, 458,000 people playing, and now there's only a 24-hour peak of just under 18,000. That's right, this game is now under 20,000 players per 24-hour period. And it's been on a steady decline all these months. And none of the so-called sweeping changes and packs that have been released have brought any of these players back. Even the Escalation of Freedom pack, which was supposed to be a game changer, right? Their most recent pack. You see, they only got a small bump for about a day. And even then it was on the decline for the rest of the week till they were back next week at the same spot they were before. When you look at the numbers deeper, I mean, look at this right now. It's been all decline so far, and then in August they gained 33% players. That's because of that big release of the new pack that was supposed to be a game changer that actually wasn't. And in the last 30 days, they've lost all those gains and then some. They've even gotten so desperate now to increase player counts that the discount bin has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Helldivers 2 just got its biggest discount on Steam. This comes to us from Polygon, stating that the title is 31% off now, costing $27.59 through Fanatical, redeemable on Steam. The problem is, and I know Helldivers 2 just released a pack, I think today, or have an upcoming pack about chemical weapons or something like that. And they've also reversed course already on those Escalation of Freedom nerfs because so many people complain about them so fast. But the point is here, none of this is going to work. It's my firm belief now that the windows on Helldivers is pretty much closed shut. Unless they do something huge and drastic by the end of the year. And I don't even mean actually bring in the Illuminate like they've been teasing us for months on end. I mean something even bigger than that. Unless they have something just absolutely massive and almost, I'd say it almost has to be narrative. Unless they do something like that, I just don't see a way that fans actually return or are interested in this game again. Especially with the sale now of Space Marine 2. I mean, the one thing people are saying about Space Marine 2, people who aren't familiar with Warhammer 40k or anything like that, is they're saying it's essentially Helldivers and Gears of War combined. And that's been a major selling point to people who were hardcore fans of Helldivers. Normie fans of this game have moved on. And in the extreme immediate, I don't see any way they're really going to be interested in coming back. But those are just my thoughts on Helldivers 2 and its increasingly dismal state. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it. We'll talk to you again later.